On October 9th, 2014, I had a crazy idea to start our podcast network. We're now 500 episodes into it.
You really should have came in with on October 9th. Like you really should have done.
I should have.
You
like
should
a
have.
trailer.
Dung, 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 dung. The date is October 9th. 2000 what?
14.
14.
I wouldn't know. It wasn't just a podcast. It wasn't an idea for a podcast. I had lots of ideas for podcasts, and so I was like, I should do a network, and so I did.
Hello. We're here.
And then we celebrate that today. So here's some stories about how we all met, how the network started, and it's very funny. There's lots of humor, some tears. It's great.
And we're all interconnected.
We're all interconnected. It's
interesting ways.
Interconnections.
So it's really good. So stick around and check it out.
You're listening to the Mopcast Network.
Welcome to the weekly Mopcast, your look at what's happening in pop culture and what's going on in the Mopcast Network. You can follow us on Twitter at Mopcast Network or on Facebook at facebook.com/Mopcast Network. Now here are your hosts, Scotty and Stephanie.
This has been a long time coming.
Oh, they just keep going, the jokes.
I'm in trouble. That's what it is. It's a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming. I never thought this would happen, but here it is. The 500th podcast on the Mopcast Network.
Woohoo! Yay!
So we have it's a special episode. I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and I'm joined by...
Your Lady of Libations, Countess Stephanie von Falkenstein.
I wasn't sure if she was done or not yet. It was a lot.
There was a lot.
It's been a little while. Jestina, your Jellicle Jester.
She who knows no movies.
From that other show. And then on the couch, we've got...
Go ahead, because my name is the shortest. So go ahead with your... Go ahead, Harry
I'm not
Potter.
doing the whole spiel.
Go ahead, Harry
No,
Potter.
I'm going with Shmi.
The boy, the
No.
boy who is hyphenated.
It's Kohas. I'm just going with Kohas.
Co-host is good.
My name's 2 letters. Like, it's just JD.
I was like, is it BJ? What you got going on up there, buddy?
More words and volume.
Yeah, because I'm an attention whore.
Fair enough.
Okay.
You spend more time talking than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Did you not hear what I just said?
No, I didn't.
James J. Bullock.
And then, of course, we got producer Caleb over here in the corner.
Hi.
Don't know which one to use. Hello there.
Oh, you got the right
hi. All of them. Yeah.
So I didn't... this is what I want to do with this episode. I want to first talk about how this all started. Because some people know, some people don't, and it's been 500 episodes. I mentioned every couple of years about how we get started, but I want like a definite, here's how we started. But minus a very small portion of people, everyone I love and trust is in this room right now. And so my family is in this room. And I am happy every week that I get to do this with my family. So thank you all for coming on this dumb ride with me and for 500 episodes. And let's keep doing for 500 more. So
If you mess up my makeup, I'll kill you.
Same.
I'm sorry.
It's only a Scotty podcast if he starts crying at the beginning of the podcast.
Damn right.
Wow.
That's when the producer goes off the rails. That's what it's just
If you need extra clothing to dab your eyes,
No, I'm
you did
fine.
wear underpants.
You
So
you know I've been vulnerable lately, Scotty.
So here's, I mean, it's true. It's true. I love all you guys, and I couldn't do this without you, and I'm so thankful that you are all in my life. So there's that. But so this is how this started. I was in college at West Virginia State University. This was 2013. I was a fan of Key and Peele
As we all are.
because it's
I
very
feel like.
funny.
They're very funny.
And so I started YouTubing interviews with them and Googling and whatnot, trying to find different interviews because there's only so many shows. And I had known them from Mad TV before, but I was like, I just want more content. I want to know more about them. And then I discovered the Nerdist podcast from that. So Chris Hardwick, who had the Nerdist podcast, and then this was years into his run of this. So I think he was in the 200s or when this was happening. And so I listened to that and I was like, oh, this is great. And then I listened, they had one on Mark Hamill, and I listened to that. And there's all this nerd stuff, all these people I really, really like. And so for like weeks, I kept listening to all this stuff. And then I got going, I can do this. This seems like it's fun. Just to talk about, he'd interview celebrities, but he had 2 other hosts at the time, and they would just do episodes like we do with our cult meetings, just kind of just BS and just talk and do stuff. And that just seemed like so fun. It's like, what's more cool than spending a week, like a couple hours a week with your closest friends to talk about the stuff you like. And so West Virginia State University is a wonderful university. I love it. I'm very proud of it. However, it's a small HBCU in West Virginia, and they don't have a lot of money. And so we had a radio lab, like a radio station, but no FCC license, so we couldn't broadcast. So there were these 2 radio studios in there, and you've been. Steph's went to the university. She's seen it, and she so sorry, the people was doing stuff in the back, and I'm like, threw me off.
You're good.
All right,
I can't stop myself right now.
no problem. Drew's doing Drew things. I'll let Drew do things while I talk. So my friend Kim, who was also my professor, I just was like, hey, can we use these to podcast? And it's Kim. She doesn't give a shit. She's like, okay. And so I started Mopcast because everything I do is because of Mop here. And if you've not read my comics or whatever, that's where that all comes from. But I got my friend Aaron Lynch Kelly, who was a fellow student of mine, and we started the weekly Mopcast. And then I was the Native American Internet Spirit Guide. I wasn't even pop culture then because I couldn't figure that. So like 3 episodes later, I become the pop culture spirit guide and named myself there. And it's just that was 2014. And from 2014 to 2016, we recorded. We had a huge following. Brought it down here when I left college to come here, and got you to come along with me, and then got you along to come with me, and then JD with the Star Wars thing, and it's just kind of we brought Drew in, and then we found Caleb on our doorstep. And
Took him in like a stray.
Caleb did follow us.
We used to record on my living room table.
Right. And so
dining room table.
So
like right there.
I want to spend the next little while of this episode. I'm trying to figure out what we would talk about, and how we would celebrate the 500. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about if we remember how we each met each other, because I'm kind of the catalyst for everyone meeting in the room. I don't think people met each other without. I don't know if you knew Drew. Did you know Drew beforehand?
In passing, but yes.
Yeah, but like, I don't think we all. I'm the kind of the. Mm-hmm. I'm that linchpin of like how we all kind of met.
Through a BJ?
Yes.
So, I want to kind of talk about that, and then just I've done this for 8 years this year, and just whatever fun memories or favorite things that we've done. I just want us to share and talk.
Oh.
That's what I want to do today.
Awesome.
Because I think we should have a record of that. And I want a record of it. So that's what I'm doing. So who wants to start? Because I've talked for the last 10 minutes and I need a break.
JD is about hearing himself talk, so I vote he goes first.
Okay.
I think you've probably known him the longest. No, Steph's known him the longest. Who's known you the longest?
In this room?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. JD.
JD.
Yeah.
So it should be in order of who's known Scotty the longest.
So back in my day, I moved to Mobile 19 years ago, almost 20.
I've known you almost that long.
So I was a manager at Suncoast. Those of us that are old enough and watched a lot of movies,
I worked at Suncoast.
I managed Suncoast.
Not while I was there, though.
You're right, because that would have been too fun, and we would have known each other longer.
It would have been VHSs. You were post VHS.
Yeah. Well, no. When I started, we had some, but I was
all VHS. And I was at the birth of DVD. Yeah.
So the manager down here, they needed one. I was in Birmingham. I came down on a Monday. Went by the store, went to stay with my buddy Lane. Next day I worked my first shift and found out while I was working where the game store was in Mobile because I needed to connect with my nerd people. And there was a store called Ground Zero. So literally after my first shift of my second day in Mobile, I walked in and met the manager of Ground Zero.
Which was me at the time.
Who was Scotty. So I've literally known Scotty all but one day I've been in Mobile.
That's crazy.
And we talked about dice. We talked about Vampire and Vampire Dice. Because
so-
I needed new Vampire Dice is why I was
Right,
going.
and I was real big at playing Masquerade at the time. And so this is, and no offense to JD, but JD's worked retail. You've worked here. You work now in gaming retail here at Gamers and Geeks.
Right.
You see a lot of people, and a lot of people just, your brain goes and you move on. So me and my ex-wife, sometime later, I don't know how long to get later for you, but sometime later, me and my ex-wife are in Suncoast, killing time and talking, and I don't know how the conversation started or we overheard something, but Vampire got, and so all three of us started talking Vampire, and then JD says, "Well, I'm running a game tonight," and then I said, "Oh, can we come over?" I don't really know this man, I just invited me and my wife to his house,
There you
and
go.
so, and he
And
was
it must have been magical.
and-
Because here we are.
right, but
Yeah.
JD was gracious and was like, "Sure, come on down, sure, no, more the merrier." Which, look, on both cans, either one of us could easily be a serial killer,
Right.
and then there's Amanda who probably was.
Probably was.
Now you tell me.
She has tendencies. I'm kidding. I love you. You're fine.
So she's not the one that was on the list in the purge.
Right? She's not on my purge list.
Okay,
She's not on my
I
purge
didn't
list.
know who that was. I still don't
Vice
know who
versa
that
is
is.
still up in the air.
But so we go to your house, and it's you and your wife, and then then I met Little JD and Lane,
That little JD and Lane.
and,
remember-
Rusty. Rusty was there.
Rusty was there?
Yeah,
Okay.
Rusty was there. Me and Amanda, and I think there was one more, and I can't remember
Was
who
it
that.
Clay? I think Clay was there.
Clay. It probably was Clay.
So basically, it was a sausage party, is what we're saying.
Have
And
you
it's-
played Vampire
and
before?
Amanda.
What-
Yeah.
And my wife and his wife.
Yeah, well,
See, I had a lot of female friends that like vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Same.
of-
But
I don't know. I was drawing the wrong crowd when I first
I was
started.
gonna say,
That's all I'm
it's,
saying.
it's the wrong circles, man.
Yeah.
It's the wrong circles.
And so
Canceled.
JD and I are close to the same age, and we have a lot of the same interests, and so we just kind of became good friends after that. So, but yeah, I invited myself to your house,
Yeah.
which is weird.
But then, I remember it was reciprocated not long after because we didn't live that far away.
Yeah,
we were
you-
in that apartment complex near my current house.
Right.
And so you're like, hey, I can't remember what, I came over and it was just you and her. And we played something, like some kind of RPG that you had wanted to try.
Right.
Not with
I can't remember either, but
something that probably is now defunct.
Right, probably.
But
Probably some
we
of
hung
that
out that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
that is cool. And then I guess next would be you.
You've known Justina longer than me.
But, oh, yeah, that's right. By like a year. So you're next.
Okay. I met you in 2009.
Right.
Yeah. So we had just bought a house in Daphne. My first of the 3 houses I've now bought in Lake Forest. It's fine. With my first ex-husband. It's fine. Let's get started.
You're just doomed to live in Lake
Yeah.
Forest.
I was going.
Real quick, how close are all 3 houses are together?
Chris and Josh are 0.8 miles away. I haven't clocked the distance between us now, but it takes me a good 5 minutes because I'm on the other side. So it's great. And I've met like 10 of my neighbors already.
Right.
Those are the most people I know that were not like friends before Lake Forest in
Right.
Lake Forest. It's
Oh,
fantastic.
Cool.
So there's a
wait to see the
lesbian
house.
couple down the road, I learned. Her name is Beth, by the way. I learned her name is Beth. She's friendly. The other one's not as friendly. So that's what I was told
Good.
by an old guy that rides a bike. It's 76. It's fine. And his daughter's name is Justine. So, and she lives with him in his cottage. It's okay. So that happened while I was doing yard work today. So I was in film school. I had been going to film school for a year, and I was at home alone with Mackenzie. She was a baby because she was 1 when we bought the house. And Chris worked out of town for a week, and then he was home, and we had her very young. So all of my friends are 18. So they're not at home with a baby in school. They're being fun 18-year-olds. So I was like, I need to do something, and I need to do something that interests me. So I found Theater 98. And they're like, well, it's a stage manager position. Are you sure you can handle it? I did so much research, like legit for like a whole 24 hours, and then showed up with a bag of all the essentials that you would need for a stage manager. So
That was for
I
Johnny,
killed it.
right? Johnny. Yeah, stage
Johnny.
Johnny. Johnny.
Johnny's intense.
Yeah.
He terrified me. And then he was like, this is our one of our biggest productions. And it was. I met everybody pretty much in that area that did theater. Because it was the Beau Stratagem.
Yeah, Beau Stratagem. Yeah.
It was like 17 people. I met Marcus, you, Nicole.
Yeah, Nicole.
I met Nicole through that. Leslie. Katie Azevedo's
yeah?
husband. That's how I met Katie.
Yeah, Jared.
That's a really good friend of mine. I met a lot of people. So it's not similar in that case. I had lived in Daphne, I think. We moved in on my birthday. So it had been 7 months when I found the theater. And that's when I met you.
I'm trying to remember. I remember meeting you.
Because I'm memorable.
You
Scotty.
are. You definitely are. Everyone in this room, but you're.
Because I had the bag. I'm telling you, it's the
bag.
bag.
It's
Props.
the bag. You're instrumental in a story. One of my favorite stories.
Oh gosh.
Should
we have opened that wine?
No. This is nothing bad for you. This is just bad.
Time for the libations.
This is bad for me. So, JD knows because JD was in the movie. I made a movie.
Oh gosh.
I made a movie called Crossroads.
We should probably open the wine.
Yeah, I made a movie called Crossroads.
It's very green.
It's very green.
It's very green.
And so
Another
Wine's
movie.
green?
I made a movie called Crossroads. I made it with your ex-husband Josh and
Second ex-husband.
your second ex-husband
Yes.
Josh, who's my best friend. And we made this movie, and then we sent it to our friend John Labata's other friend Seth to help color correct and fix it and did all the post work on it. It comes back green. It's so green, and I'm colorblind, and I was like, "That's green." That's how bad it is. But here's the funny story: is I'm going to your house. I just got the hard drive back from the mail. I've got it in the mail, and I'm on my way to your house to watch it for the first time. So it's you.
No. We went to John's.
No. I was on my way to see it at your house for the first time.
Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
This is why we ended up seeing it at John's.
Okay,
You know the story. You just don't remember.
probably 100%.
So I'm on my way to your house. I get a call from you to say, "Hey, I'm running late. Can you kill some time before you come over?" Sure. So as I'm driving, there's a guitar shop, and at the time I played guitar and stuff to the left of me. So I was going to kill time at the shop. So I get to the red light, and I turn. I go to the guitar shop. As I pull into the guitar shop, a deputy sheriff pulls in behind me and blocks me in. And
This isn't the right story, Scotty. Because when that happened, I was with Josh.
No, you weren't.
No, I'm pretty sure I was.
You
and I
weren't.
had more than one child.
Nope, you did not.
Okay, let's go through the Rolodex of men here. Okay, I'm pretty sure.
I know this. I know the timeline.
So you were coming to Chris and I's house?
Yeah, I was coming to your and Chris's house. You had the redhead, Bethany.
Okay, first Brittany.
Yeah. Sorry, Brittany and Megan.
Okay, continue. I'm
That's
sorry.
where I met all them.
apologize.
That's where I met all of them, and they were there that night too. And so you had to the reason why you were late because you had something with Brittany. Something came up with Brittany, and you had to meet her for something. And all right, so
Okay, continue.
So I got the state trooper. I mean, not the state trooper, but this deputy pulled up behind me, and so there's a car, there's a parked car on both sides of me, and I'm boxed in, and I have no idea, and then it dawns on me when I turned left, it was on a red light. I was thinking right on red, and I turned left on red. Yeah. I ran a red light, and this is why he's pulling me over. So he gets my ID, and he starts running it, and it takes a very long time, an uncomfortable. It usually takes 4 to 5 minutes to get all the information, but it's taking a long, long time. And so I hear from the back, "Mr. White, can you step back to the back of the car?" And so I'm thinking, there's a car to the set. He's being safe. He doesn't want me to hand me a ticket and me slam him with the door, So I get out, and he's behind me, and he's, "Mr. White, can you put your hands on the trunk?" And I'm like, "Well, that's different." Okay.
What were you driving?
The white the white card I got from Tom. Eunice.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom.
I remember Tom.
And so
Everybody remembers Tom.
So I put my hands on the trunk of Eunice, and then he takes my wrist and goes, "Mr. White, there's a warrant for your arrest." And I'm like, "Huh?"
It's fantastic, though. It's so good.
And so I'm handcuffed, and he's like, "Yeah, there's a warrant for your arrest." I said, "For what?" He goes, "I don't know."
Oh, it gets better. It gets better.
And so he's like, this was 2010.
If it's 2010, that was in the middle of my divorce. I'm telling you, that happened. You were going to see Josh and I.
No, because it couldn't have been, because it was at Pickers, and Pickers was on the way to Lake Forest.
Josh and I lived in Fairhope, though. Oh, I guess it couldn't be.
No,
She
I lived
with
in
us.
I lived with you in Fairhope at the time.
It wasn't on the way to our house that we bought in
No.
Lake Forest?
No.
That's very confusing. That house is also in Lake Forest.
No. It was because I lived with you afterward in 2011.
But let me say this, because we're talking about Crossroads still.
Right.
And the first time that I ever watched that
Right.
was at John's house, and Josh
Yeah.
and I had just met.
Right. I know that. But let me get to that.
Okay.
I would like to see the baby.
I want to know what you were arrested for.
Yeah.
Right. This is what I'm trying to get
Yeah.
to. So, he doesn't know what I'm. And so this is what he is a training deputy. He trains other deputies. So he doesn't have a cage in his car, and he doesn't have a computer. So he called it in, and it flagged back. I will warrant for my arrest. So I'm handcuffed.
Right.
And then he's like, clearly he pats me down, and he's looking, goes, you don't have any needles or knives or hand. He kept saying hand grenades.
Hand grenade.
Right.
Stapleton. It's a big thing.
Right, you know.
Stapleton.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. What he doesn't know is in my trunk, I have all the fake weapons and stuff
my
that we get from Crossroads. All the zombie movie I made are in my trunk. Every I have like the real guns that no longer work. I have all of it is in my trunk. I'm brown with a beard at the time, longer beard at the time. I could be a terrorist to this guy, and I'm trying not to look nervous. I'm trying not to like, don't look in the trunk. Don't look in the trunk. I just don't. I had 2 rocks that we made out of paper mache for Ugg the Caveman musical in the back of my car, and he's like, "What's with the rocks?" I'm like, "I'm in theater." So, he loses my ID because he keep thinking he gave it back to me. Couldn't find it. He unhandcuffs me to let me call my mother.
Right.
Because I got to call somebody to pick me up if I'm going to jail. Yeah. And we wait. We start shooting the shit like we're best friends. And just he's like, I'm sorry about this, but it warrant. He doesn't know. Like he's like the coolest guy ever. So finally, the another deputy with a cage to take me to jail is here, and they find my ID, and so he runs it in his computer. I have a warrant from 2000 and from 1997. It was from 97 because I know it's 2010 now because it was 13 years old. It's a warrant for a bad check that I may have wrote in 1997. And I'm like,
what?
My first question was, statute of limitations. And he goes, no, there's no statute of limitations on this. I said, I can rob a bank, hide out for 7 years, and I'm in the clear. But if I write a check for $25, I can go to jail for the rest of my life. And he says, oh, yeah, absolutely. That's how that works. And I'm like, so bad checks and murder, baby, are right there. They're just right there. So,
now we know.
So knowing's half the battle.
Don't write a bad check.
And so
Or murder.
right, or murder. And so it's just it's crazy. And so, however, what saves me from jail is that there are no identifiers on the warrant. It is so old, the person who put the warrant out on me may or may not exist anymore.
Oh my gosh.
It's 13 years. It was like this warrant is in middle school. I don't know how, like I can't say I was fiscally responsible when I was 18 or 19 when this thing was at the time.
Oh, you definitely weren't.
Of course not. I'm barely now. And so it was the weirdest thing, but they let me go. And so after they lets me go, the other deputy leaves. I get a warning for the running the red light, but it becomes he's my dad moment. Well, son, you could have caused an accident at that light. Like he could have told me this stuff while we were shooting the shit. No, he turns like hardcore Andy Griffin on me and just was like, you need to be watching out for them light sons. Like I was like the weirdest experience.
Wow.
And so I was so late getting to we never hooked up the hard drive to watch it.
Yeah.
And so I had to we ended up doing it at John's house.
For some reason, I thought Josh was involved in that story.
No, we watched the movie about 2 weeks later at John's house when it was you, me, Josh, and John Labata. Oh no,
And
John
that's how I
Labata
met-
and John Walker saw it too.
That's how I met John.
Yeah.
So, which Crossroads? Because there were 2.
There's 3 actually.
I'm so sorry.
There's 3
There's
actually.
3 of
Okay.
them?
There's 3.
Is it the one we had to go to Mississippi to film, or the one we filmed at John's?
Both because
It's
we
the one
also
with
went to
the
Mississippi to film
fire
that one, the big one.
that you jumped over. That was
Like this big.
Right.
We planned this great stunt that was going to be like John had like I can make John Labatta, who I love, can make anything happen, and he had this dream about making a wall of fire with gasoline, and so the zombies would be over. We didn't care about safety, and so he makes the wall of fire, but the wall of fire is literally just this high.
That's when you just get the camera real low.
Right, and
make it real big.
And so we tried.
That's adorable.
That's not what it looked like, though.
At the end of this podcast, for the visual, I will actually in the right here. I'll put it right here. I have the trailer. I'll put the trailer in the middle of this podcast so everyone can watch it, and I'll put it in the links in the show notes.
Is the
I'm starting to think I was the last one left.
It's the house. It keeps us safe.
Center pretty close. Could be a scout.
Told you we're safe.
Cover me!
We've been hiding for days. Thought traveling by night would be easier, but it just made it harder to see them.
Our food supply is going to run short real soon. Even if we ration, it's not going to last us long.
Here I am, ready to go on this suicide mission.
Suicide's a sin. I'm not going out there to die. I'm going to live.
I saw something.
What did you say? We need them alive. I think we need to get back to the house.
I don't like this. I want to go home.
There were too many of them, sir.
I will cut your face off and feed it to the herd.
What if they don't come back? You don't belong.
Just trying to make conversation.
Conversation's over. There are too many of them. We've got to go.
There are things out there that will kill you. And next time, I might just let them.
I'm afraid. You don't have to be afraid. You'll be with me. I like your stories, Hope. Not this one. I tried to warn you.
trailer also green?
Some of it. Some of it is.
Very
after this is over, I'll let you guys watch it too.
And that meeting is how I met Josh.
Yep. Yeah.
That was the first time I met him.
And you two started getting close when we tried to film the movie at his house.
Yep.
And so.
And now I have babies and a second ex-husband.
Right. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I have babies.
But I do like to go to your children and be like, I'm part of the reason why you exist. And so
That's nice.
Not a real intimate reason there.
Yeah,
No.
I was gonna say, maybe don't bring that up as they're older.
No. Every time.
Mackenzie's age, she's like, what were you doing?
Yeah.
I just make sure people got
You're a
matchmaker,
matchmaker,
make me a match up. Yeah.
So that's how Scotty and I met.
I love you.
I love you.
Okay, well, I guess this is my turn. We met Scotty and I met in 2010. I was doing a dinner theater, and it was a Christmas theme dinner theater, and I was playing a reindeer named Prisser.
Reindeer.
And we needed a rapping snowman. I'm talking about like a thug snowman that raps. And because our normal guy could not do it for that weekend's performance. And someone, I can't remember who it was in our group, but someone in our group had connections at Theater 98, got in touch with Scotty.
Dory,
okay.
Yeah, Dory.
Had brought Scotty in to do the part.
Yeah,
so
she
that's
was
how
in
we
Duck
met,
Hunter with us.
doing that one show.
And I didn't want to do it. She come to me and she's like, I'm desperate, and they'll feed you. There's no money, but they'll feed you, and can you just be this rapping snowman? And I was like, no. And she asked me like 4 times.
And then he said yes. And aren't you glad you did?
I did.
Right.
I'm glad.
But after that, we got cast in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest at JJP, so we did a whole show together. And it was during that show that we really started getting close.
So do you know? So we spent a lot of time on stage together,
Yeah.
doing nothing, because we're in the background.
But on opposite sides of the.
But part of that, but there's a time that we're both in the nurses' station.
Oh, that's right, doing nothing.
And so, do you know how we pass the time?
I remember we were writing. What were we writing?
That game where you could.
The dots.
Yeah,
we were playing the dots game.
The dots game where you connect.
And
everything.
I kept eating. So we had jelly beans or some sort of candy in the pill bottles, and I kept sneaking the pills. So if you were really watching closely during the show, you'd see me back there in the little nurses station behind the window, just popping pills because it was candy. And I'm sitting back there for like the longest time on stage as the nurse,
just doing nothing, man.
We played dots, but so we got close, and he says, "Hey, I like to make these short films," and Mobile at that time had this thing called film scrambles where they would have competitions or whatever. And he says, "Hey, I'm going to be doing this film. Would you like to be in one of my films?" And I'm like, "Sure," not asking anything about it because I don't care. And so he's
which is great when you're looking for actors out there. If you join community theaters and find people who are just willing to do anything.
Said, sure. So. My first film with Scotty, I played a zombie, and it was filmed at John's house.
Yeah, because we filmed everything for a while there.
So, and that was a riot. And and after that, just about any time there was a film scramble, I was in one of his films.
Because she's you're wonderful in everything you're in.
Thank you.
B, you're also available to. So it's like
and I'm
two qualities that I like, and also free. And
Scotty will also say, "Are you willing to be this character?" And I'm like, "Okay." But how I met Jestina is they decided to do a theater scramble.
Yep.
And you wrote a short play about some mice at Mardi Gras.
The Forgotten Throw.
Forgotten Throw. And
yep.
we had rehearsals at your house because Scotty was living with you. So that's how I met you. Mm-hmm. And it was just so much fun. I mean, so for the longest time, for like a few years, that Scotty and I would get together and do these crazy films and whatnot. And then he moved away.
I did.
He did.
And I was distraught. It was awful.
It was like, "Hey, I'm leaving." We were all like, "What?" "Yeah, I'm going to school. Bye."
Yeah.
Okay. Best thing for me, though.
It was. And, he'd come home and visit and, we'd get together. But when he finished school and came home permanently, he says, "Hey, I was doing this podcast up in, West Virginia. I want to keep doing it. Do you want to be my co-host?" And I'm like, "Sure." Because Scotty can ask me anything. I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, she's pretty good at that.
Sure. So we started doing the podcast on my kitchen table.
Yep.
Literally, is the only place.
That's where we did the Harry Potter one.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
We had a hoot, and we tried to find a studio. Like we went through. The Container Yard,
which would have worked, except there was some person at the Container Yard who I don't know who, she was an artist, but the way that I made the agreement was because the Container Yard was open from 8 to 5, and I was like, well, we just need it at night, and there's nobody there, right? And it's like, yeah, there's nobody there except this artist who was like, apparently also made that same agreement, and so it was like,
but she would do her art right where we were doing our podcast,
right? And then we would move, and she would move. It was very
awful.
passive aggressive.
It was just awful. And then we started doing the podcast at the old Gamers and Geeks location, and we would didn't we rent out a spot for that, or we used one of the back rooms?
Yeah, that RPG
rooms in the back.
The RPG room.
But the problem is it was so loud.
Right.
I mean, you could pick up everything, and which is how I met you when we started doing that. And oh God, do you remember the puppet?
Please tell the puppet story.
So Scotty, we're always trying to find an angle. Like let's try to do something.
We are a business after all.
So we would do these radio dramas, and I was the voice of Mop. And he's like, "This is great. We can make this is me, except it's a different voice."
Speaking of John,
hey, we've been talking about you.
We've been talking about you.
We love you.
We love you.
Voice of John Lovato.
We thought it would be cool if we had like a hand puppet, but like one of the ones from you would see in the Muppets or Avenue Q, what we wanted was something like Avenue Q kind of thing.
Right.
And we would go to cons, and then I would have Mop, and I would voice Mop and do all this stuff.
Still want that to happen though. I just
right. So we researched, and somebody who I can't remember.
All right. So John Walker, who does the art for Chronicles of Limbo, had a friend who he went to Full Sail with, who went into puppetry and was working with Jim Henson's daughter.
Right.
And sent me pictures of all this great, and he says he'll do it for, it was
cheap.
Real cheap.
Which should have been our first warning.
Should have been our first warning, because this is a lesson of you pay for what you get for. You get what you pay for. And it's I think it was $100, $200. It was real cheap. But at the end of the day, I'm looking for a hand puppet like we can take to conventions. I'm not looking for a full-size kind of thing. And we were at Star Wars Celebration Orlando. And it was delivered to your house.
To my house.
And so when we got back from Orlando, I was too tired to look at it. And I said, you just take care of this for me. I'll talk to you about it in a day or two.
Because he just dropped me off with my luggage.
Because I was tired.
And
it was out.
I opened up this puppet, and I'm like, can I use language here?
Yes.
What the fuck is this? It was oh my God. It was the most horrific looking... I can't. Do we have? We got to have pictures somewhere. No.
We don't have it here.
There's somewhere. There's pictures of this.
They
thing.
should be up there on the top where we can look at it.
Do you have it,
always.
or did you get it back from Eric?
No, I have it.
Okay,
I never gave it to Eric.
Oh, okay.
Where's it at, Scotty?
It's in my storage unit at Dad's house.
This thing is so scary looking.
It's in a box. She hasn't been out.
And here I am thinking, and I mean, it literally looks like a 4-year-old did the painting on it. I mean, it's horrible. And so, I mean, the hair.
Right.
Oh my God, it's just so bad.
But here's the thing. He molded a vinyl puppet. It's not right.
It's not right at all.
And it doesn't move. It's too hard plastic.
No, the mouth doesn't move. Nothing.
The things you need a puppet to do, this doesn't do.
But it's just horrific looking.
I need to find it.
And I'm trying to not panic, and I'm thinking, well, I can paint. I'm a good painter. And also do makeup. So it's maybe I can just
still good. It's still good. I can fix it.
I'm maybe I could just repaint it and it'll be okay. And I'm but I can't make the mouth move, so I don't know how to fix that. It was just terrible.
So
we haven't done the puppet thing.
So I, being me, is okay, let's figure out what happened. And then I talked to the guy, and he says, well, that's what I had the budget for. And then I'm like, why didn't you contact me? We would up the budget.
Yeah, it's like we are willing to pay more money.
Yeah, right.
It's
because originally it was supposed to have
consulted us.
Right, he never consulted us, and it was supposed to have more realistic eyes,
the eyes were
supposed to be glass eyes, moving all this stuff. And he goes, "Oh, I just didn't have the money for that." And I was like,
the eyes were
"Why didn't you contact me so we could?"
So what are you saying? Does the Mopcast puppet look like Sloth?
It looked like this.
God, she's so bad. She's so bad. I just
oh my gosh.
I'll next time I go to Dad's house, I'll pull her out. I'll bring it maybe for a cult meeting.
Just make sure that that's fine. I
But
just don't want my kids to
anyway,
see it.
we have come a long way.
He's like, yeah, that's fine. You can bring it for your meeting.
And I also knew Drew because I was cast in one of his wonderful films. So that's fantastic. I'm not sure. You don't tie in as smoothly as everybody else.
No,
as far
I'm just
as
there.
but yeah. And then of course I met Caleb here.
So sorry, Caleb. I met Caleb here.
I met Caleb
I think
here.
we all met Caleb here.
Again.
Well, he was dropped off
On
on the
our doorstep.
We
Yes.
all saw him
He's our orphan
collectively
baby.
He's
together
our
at the same
stray.
time.
Scotty and I with Caleb,
Yeah,
we
we-
were doing the live
Yeah.
Mando thing.
Listen.
That's
Right.
when I met Caleb.
Right.
Just join the
Yeah.
family,
Like, we
okay?
had
We all met him on the
passings here and
doorstep.
there.
Right.
So
I just remember being a fan of Cult Movie Cantina. Of Catacombs.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we did the very first episode of the first season of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
We did a viewing here.
Yeah.
I was
Yep.
here.
Well,
And then I was there.
And then that's when I met. I
When
think that's
we
when I officially met Caleb.
would have
Yeah.
the cons here. He would always come up and talk
Yeah.
to us at our table.
And he was
Right.
always in the audience.
And that's how I remember meeting
I
him.
wasn't involved in that, so I was talking about my.
But anyway,
Oh, I'm sorry about JD.
it's your turn, Drew. It's your turn.
Yeah.
What year did I actually meet you? It was 2011, 2012? Because I was still making movies.
12. It was 12.
That's probably the movie that I was in.
You were in Convergence. I
Yeah.
think.
You had just finished
I think we were in
Convergence.
post on Convergence.
You were posting Convergence because I helped you with that trailer.
Yeah.
And
So we were in post on that movie. So we basically had Flight Club, which was Fight Club, but we were flying Star Wars.
right with X-wing, yeah.
And so it was like a secret X-Wing group. And so people would show up and come play X-Wing. And
Because Drew
I
had.
don't even know how those people got there. Now that I think back, I can't remember how
So I met
any
you.
of those
I met you
people
through
showed up.
Jonathan Depew.
Yeah, I remember JD because he was in the movie.
Yeah,
and he
and so
came out.
I do like.
So
I miss him.
Depew is how I met, because he was like, hey, because I'd come home from college and he's like, hey, come play X-Wing with us.
Yeah.
I was like, because I had some. I was like, okay, I'll come play X-Wing with you.
Yeah.
Sure. And
You were on break is when I met you.
Yeah, I was on break.
Christmas break
yeah,
or summer
Yeah,
break?
it was probably Christmas break.
Christmas break.
And then, like, it was, you had the coolest clubhouse ever at the time.
It was a movie studio.
It was a movie studio that you pretty much had the full run of.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the one that's off Cody.
So
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
fanboy?
Yeah, because we did.
Well,
that we're talking
I
about
didn't
right now?
fanboy, but I kept
we
going.
just got along really well.
We got really around, but I
Well,
kept
we
going.
did one of your short films
We-
there too
we-
on the green screen.
Yeah, we did. We did El Diablo Rosa.
That's
the
it.
trilogy with Jessica. What's her face? And so, anyway,
What an unfortunate last name.
I know, right?
She doesn't watch the show, so I don't think she matters.
How would you know if she was?
Right.
That wasn't my last name.
But yeah, we met. We met
So we
there.
met that way, and then we just played X-Wing and had this like frat house of nerds, all dudes.
And then you ran a Star Wars game, but it was like everybody involved in it was in the industry in some way.
Yeah,
or
then
had
we ran
been,
a movie game, so we had an actor from LA, and then we ran. It was all you had to be in the business,
right, or had made some, because I was
And
a
you had to
student,
do- you
but
had to
I'd made
know
some,
a little bit
yeah.
about, because it was all about like promoting creativity. So we ran a Star Wars game. It was really successful. Then we got into Imperial, so it was all gaming based stuff.
Right.
And then Scotty would be like, "Can I use the green screen?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care, whatever." And then, it just
And then
happened.
my favorite part about filming El Diablo Rosa, the pre-production of that was, hey Drew, do you have any access to because he had a studio, so I was like, do you have some access to some like weapons? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And I come in the next day, he's got like all this airsoft stuff that
Hold on. I'm about to pull up a picture.
there's an airsoft.
I think, do you have the grenade launcher?
Yeah, the grenade launcher, which
Yeah,
I didn't know was a
six-pack.
thing. It was an airsoft grenade launcher. And I was like, well, that's going in the movie.
What guns? I have
Writing the
guns.
script in the moment.
Right, just there was no script. We shot it, and then I edited it and put a script after we edited it, because that's the best way to make a movie. And it's for a film scramble. It didn't
was a
matter.
scramble
It was a
job,
scramble.
yeah.
And so I had an idea of what, because there were movie trailers.
Yep.
And I wanted to do. So we shot one with they gave us 3 minutes, and I turned it into 3 1-minute shorts. And so I built a whole trilogy. And so the first one was really serious. I had Horse there.
Yep.
And then the other two are like,
So we were going into Ether then.
yeah, you were going
Yeah.
into Ether
So
for that.
It was finishing up Convergence, going into Ether.
Yeah.
So that would have been that whole timeline.
Damn it. It's been a minute. Yeah. Load up.
Oh yeah, had that 6-pack. I remember all that stuff.
This is crazy.
That was just awesome. That was from that film.
And then you and I, I started Cult Movie Cantina because I used to have a show called Bros, Booze, and Movies. And when I wanted to revamp it, I know I wanted you two as my co-hosts.
And the one I did was Bros, Booze, and Movies. Because when I first got
Yeah.
started,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what it was still.
what this was.
This
the
was-
beginning.
yeah, the Cult
And then
Movie
because we weren't bros, we said
Yeah,
because
because we kept bringing up, like, really, there's more ladies.
We could have
there should
said
be
we
boobs.
could have said boobs, booze, and movies.
Right. And
Yeah.
then
And Scotty was like, no.
But we went through a few names, and we ended up settling on the Cult Movie Cantina, which I think is like,
I love.
was great. But I thought the format was fun because you've not seen movies, you like alcohol, and I like finding weird movies. And so from that though, you and I have a love of like
really
obscure deep stuff, and so we did the
It's not
Catacomb.
even obscure. Let's be honest. Some of it's just plain shite.
Right. Well, yeah.
Right.
Nemesis.
Well, listen,
And I
Oliver
met
Gruner-
him at the first podcast we did.
Oh yeah.
All together.
Yeah.
Because it was at your birthday.
Yeah, it was
you did
my
know him before him?
Yeah, she did because she met him at my 40th birthday when we did Prince of Darkness, and so
I remember that was at.
she the first one she joined us, and she
that
never saw
Irish
it.
Bard.
What's the one that we did at the
Dailies.
industry?
I think. Oh, I went to that one too.
Yeah, you did.
That was the second birthday.
That was the second one. The first one
second
was
birthday.
at
We did the
O'Daly's.
Yeah.
O'Daly's.
In
that's it.
industry, we did hashtag.
That's right. Because Gene was
Yeah, it was Gene and
Uncle Henry, wasn't it?
no. Depew. It was
Depew.
It was Depew.
Okay.
I think he used to do a lot of those.
Yeah.
I defeated him.
Hey,
Did you?
rumor is that How It Stacks is coming back.
That's awesome.
How It Stacks should be recording in this studio.
Awesome.
Delightful.
So
Yep.
try to get there. I've been talking. Caleb's going to produce it. So
That'd be fantastic.
I've been talking to JD and Drew and JD and Jared.
That's if
and
JD doesn't. I mean,
Gabe.
if Bulldog doesn't win his main.
Yeah, he's trying to be a governor.
governor.
Yeah.
What?
We just at the
Is he
at the
really?
Yeah,
Cub
Jared.
Scout thing last
Trying to
night.
be governor of what?
Alabama.
Yeah. He's got it's a legit thing.
It's
We
a
signed.
legit.
It's fine. But she kept going around and being like, "Governess." It's like, own it, girl. They have an Alabama-shaped pool at the governor's mansion. So if they win, they said they'd have a pool party.
One hell of a party.
Well, all right.
I want to be in the spot at the very end,
chaos.
at the bottom of Alabama.
I guess I'll use this moment to announce this because this ties into.
We got to talk. Yeah, let Caleb has his part too there.
Well, let me try.
I can do it.
Go. Jared is going to be on my new podcast. I think my second episode because he wants to talk his governor campaign, and I'm like, I love you, Jared, but that's crazy, and I got to have this. I got to have him talk about. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's passionate about what he wants, and he's serious about it. But it's like, who decides to run for governor? And
Jared does.
I mean.
And so I'm curious.
Who would want to be governor?
Right, and so I'm starting. I've been trying to do this podcast for a year now. We're finally doing it. It's called Tuesdays with Scotty, and it's Cult Movie Cantina. I love, and My Star Wars Life I love, but they're limited. I can't just talk about whatever I want to talk about. So Tuesdays with Scotty is just me talking with my friends about stuff. Stuff. And so it's a mix of a bunch of other podcasts. It's gonna be It's gonna be a blast. So. But yeah, Drew's gonna be my first guest on that because we're gonna talk. Old.
I'm angry.
He's angry. We want to talk.
Is
about
that your persona, or are you just angry in this specific podcast? You just always gonna be angry, yelling.
He's like,
why are you angry?
We're recording our first episode hopefully next week. So
yeah.
So.
Well, all right.
All right, Caleb, how'd you
meet us all?
And of course my camera's out.
I got it. You go ahead. You keep doing your thing. I'll just drop the mic.
So it started with me writing a book, and I went to my first con.
It's like that. I'm an author.
Yeah. And I went to my first con as a vendor, QuestCon, in 2017.
I remember QuestCon.
I was running stuff there.
I was Pennywise.
You were Pennywise.
Yeah,
and we did hashtag as Rick and Morty.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, if you just turn it off and back on, it will work.
I did.
So you and I ran into each other just because you were running things.
Did we?
Yeah, because you handed me like the slip for like all my tax forms and stuff for. I think somebody did.
I didn't. No, because I worked there for the store.
You were working there for the store.
I wasn't working for QuestCon.
Oh, okay. I think. Okay, yeah, we might have ran into each other though because I walked around a little bit. Yeah. I had a little bit of leeway to walk around, but Scotty was like right across from me.
Yep.
And I was like kind of at the Bard's Tower, but not really. Like they put me like across from Bard's Tower, and so
Bard's Tower adjacent.
One of my favorite authors was there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there were some good authors there.
That was a terrible con.
I got a lot of good advice for future writing from them. But I met Scotty there, and we, kind of connected based on our love of Star Wars immediately. And I got some advice from Scotty also for how to like promote my book. And from there, I learned about his podcast because at the time he was already doing
we did a live one that no one saw. We did the Blob.
Yeah. At that time, we
had no audience. We had like 3 people.
Yeah, you were still doing mostly on Spotify and the other apps.
Oh yeah, I've been on Podbean since we started, so we were on all the. We used to do no video.
Yeah, that was pre-video, but the discussion of video didn't come up till years later.
Yeah, years later.
Because I'd started to be like, oh, I like that, and I kind of want to get connected into the side of like the local area, because I went to school for film, and so I kind of just kept following you guys whenever I saw you at conventions. I was like, oh, okay, cool, more connections because you kind of got to just put your foot through the door to kind of make it work.
And I give credit for Caleb. His persistence is great. It's one of the things that won me over. He's like, hey, if you need any help, I'm free, and I'm like, I went to South, and so I was, and look. At conventions, you hear that all the time, so you're just like, yeah, whatever. But he kept coming up and he kept saying it, and then after a while, I was just like,
maybe he's serious.
And he doesn't seem like he's a serial killer. So
not any more than the rest of us.
Right, not any more than the rest of us. And so we...
and we had talked about needing an intern anyway.
Yeah, somebody to help us out.
Because it was just us.
It's just getting out of hand.
Because... Never mind.
What? What?
Say, why have a couch? There's nobody to cast on.
Well, that's how you got your job.
Right now. You're on the downside.
But when I got serious about video, I was like, I contacted Caleb. I took you out to dinner.
Yeah, we had
and pitched the whole thing.
An official
and that was his first and only paycheck.
I'm still waiting for mine.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, because
I did get you Star Trek wine this year.
I've
You
met
did.
so-
I'm very happy about
so-
that.
because I'm pretty sure I met you two at Pensacon officially. It was at one of the Pensacons.
Was it
and-
Pensacon
I
or
don't
was
know
it
the first
here? I
time.
thought it was at this con.
I just
Or
know
was it
that
here?
for a while, every con,
Yeah.
like you were
It
either
could've-
in the audience or you were at the table.
Right.
I think it might have been Pensacon.
Was it? I mean, I was at Mobicon, Pensacon, QuestCon. I was at QuestCon with Scotty.
Oh yeah,
the whole
but
weekend.
I don't think we
Yeah.
officially met
Yeah.
though.
I was there.
But it was one of the lives. It was one of the lives where we officially met,
Yeah.
and then JD I kind of met just here at the store.
Because I'm always here.
Yeah, and then
You should get out more, man.
Yeah.
You should get out more.
I don't like people.
It's fair.
I bring him out for karaoke every now and then.
That's right.
He's good.
I was always happy when Caleb came up to talk to us because he was mostly normal.
Right.
'Cause
Mostly normal.
When you do a podcast like what Scotty and I do,
Yeah,
you attract very interesting customers.
Yes, you do.
Very interesting.
There was this one guy who would just keep naming terrible movies that were like, no, I'm not spending time to watch this or put it on the list.
Yeah, and he's the guy that's responsible for why there's a sign in the bathroom that says, "Put on deodorant."
Oh boy.
Caleb is?
No,
No.
that other guy.
You pointed
So
at
when
Caleb.
No, I was pointing in the direction of the bathroom. So when Caleb showed up, I was like, "Oh, thank God."
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He seems nice.
And he doesn't smell bad.
Yeah, and
Right.
the only movie I've recommended is a sequel to a movie you guys did on the main podcast.
Right. Which is still on the list.
Yeah, which is on the
Which
list.
I recommended one that's supposed to still be on
It's
two.
the sequel to the Prairie Dog movie.
Highlander.
Yep.
I only know that because we were talking about it last night.
Highlander 2 is definitely one that I want to do.
Yeah, we want to do the.
But
that's
I'm still
a
waiting
Catacombs.
for
It's a
Fortress,
Catacombs
which I
movie.
have a
love
copy of.
Fortress.
I have a copy of it now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. I have a copy of the
You know,
Fortress.
there's a Fortress 2 with Oliver Grumier.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Well, you get some time. Because we
Yeah.
need to talk about
Yeah, we
Catacombs
gotta-
anyway. But
But
I want to bring that back.
and so yeah, I think I basically met the rest of y'all at the Mando premiere here
Yeah,
at the
that's
store.
Cool.
Look at us. We've made a nice little family.
I just remember waiting to see JD's face because he had not seen it.
Yeah, I'd already
At the
seen it that
Mando
morning.
premiere.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see his face when Grogu was introduced. I just stood there. I didn't even look at the screen. I just stared at him.
Oh yeah. Because
Yeah.
we watched
Yeah.
it.
And-
Engage,
And then his face dropped, and you saw, I saw, it's like his entire life flashed before his eyes.
Yeah, because the three of us had already seen it
Yeah.
once at least, and then
Yeah, I
that was the
was
first
watching that
time for
morning.
JD.
'Cause I like to wait for those moments.
Yep.
This
Oh, it was gold.
past Pensacon was Caleb's first away trip with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
officially
So
staying with
with
us as
yeah.
a family.
Instead of me
And,
going the driving back and forth commute.
It was so much fun because Caleb and I had a lot of our schedules were more connected than Scotty's.
Yeah, I was
because
busy.
I was too, but
Yeah.
it just happened that
A lot of the
The
stuff
pa-
I was interested in.
is the panels that I moderated. So we kind of hung out together, and we have the same exact dietary interests. It's bizarre. Like, we had so much fun.
Human flesh.
Human flesh. And
Your trip
Reuben's.
also on trips.
Yeah.
Your trip also on trips.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Say that one
Wait,
more
yeah,
time.
let's go ahead. Tell me why, because we have to take one Friday. So go ahead. Let's go.
Yeah, it's just Drew and I, which we need to talk about. Are we going to get 2 rooms? Or are we just going to get like a double bedroom?
we're
All
going
I
to
can
it.
say about
I have to
Justina
legally
is
get
if
to
at
it.
Yeah.
1 or 2 in the morning she decides she wants to take a jog, just
No,
let
no,
her.
That wa-
no.
No.
No. Drinking Justina.
Oh, drinking just.
If I hit a level of intoxication, I have to move my body.
So don't let her drink.
So I will go running. I will
can't
do
let her drink.
handstands. I will roll
so
down driveways.
two Pensacons ago, because it was the last one we stayed at the Marriott.
Yeah.
It was you, Paul, and her.
Oh gosh.
But you couldn't keep up with her because she was so.
She kept running. Like running.
She does.
So, because we will go, like, have this tradition where at Pensacon on one of the
It's
nights I
tradition.
like to go
Yeah.
and start off at the Fish House and do the Harry Potter stuff and the Star Trek stuff. And they used to have a Star Wars area, but that moved. They don't have that anymore. But
it was there
It was there.
because I remember that.
right. It was there
Yeah.
that time. So we go drinking. And was that?
Now let me.
Was that the
because
year?
I remember everything.
Is that the
about
year we
this night.
started with the Goblet of Fire?
Yeah. Okay. So this is also not super long after I had Callie. So because
Right.
it's like when we were all getting started.
Right.
So I was like really watching my diet. Like I was like, I know I'm gonna drink. I'm eating salads
Which
because
is
I'm gonna drink
stupid.
because of the
Stupid.
caloric intake. So we got to the fish house and got the Goblet of Fire,
Well,
which is this
I made you
huge
drink a wake first.
we had 2 wakes.
2 wakes.
We had 2 wakes. We went and had an
she was
Irish
trying
wake
to keep up with
and
me drinking.
boxties, mind you. We did have boxties. And then another Irish wake.
So you
Went
have
to the
starch
podcast.
to soak up
Got
the-
drinks.
Got
Got
2
drinks at
other
the bar.
drinks from the bar. Had because we had one while we were recruiting people, and we were recruiting people at the bar, and then we're like, we need another one for the podcast, and so we had a drink at the podcast,
Right.
our panel, and then we went to the fish house. So,
Yep.
pre-lubrication, okay, and then we get
And
to
that
the
was
fish house,
fine.
and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a salad because I've been drinking.
And I just kind of look at
So-
her like, okay.
Yeah, because I was like calories, and it's this huge, just mixing bowl of liquors.
Yeah.
And you have a ladle to put it into your cups because it's a punch bowl for a party.
It's
of people.
supposed to be meant to serve 4.
Yeah.
And it was just me and her.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm feeling real good. Okay.
And then
And
she
then I was
hides in the
feeling real
bathroom
not
for
good.
an hour.
Like I started my first drink and then I was like, I don't feel well, and I went to the bathroom. And this is also the year that Derby wife and I first started talking because I'm messaging her. She's like, I'm gonna come, and I was like, I'm in a bathroom because I'm drunk. She's like, what bathroom? I was like, I don't know. There's a goblet though.
All this time I'm waiting, so I would go in and out of the bathroom just seeing
I was
her.
just
"You
sitting there, I was
okay?"
like, I'm fine.
And she's like, hey, I'm good. No worries. Be out in a minute. And I
just couldn't get
Let's put
up because I felt sick.
The whole time that she was in there, I drank the entire rest of the Goblet of Fire.
So at that point, she shows up, and while she's in the bathroom waiting, like she was like, "Hey, are you in this bathroom?" Because again, she's just like popping in bathrooms. Stephanie comes in, and they're both like, "Oh, hey."
And I'm like, where the
And
hell
I
did
just
she come
opened
from?
the door, and I'm just sitting on the ground. I was like, "Hey guys, I just didn't feel well, so I'm just by the toilet just in case." It was a while.
So we go around to all the other bars,
And they put me on
feeding her 5 olives.
and in water.
And water.
I had to have a water everywhere. So
I want to
kept
water.
getting
Well, I
olives.
wouldn't let her drink, so it's like she has to have water, and she goes, and 5 olives.
It
So
was 4.
everywhere we went, water
4
and 5 olives. And then
4.
when I determined that she was okay to drink again, I let her get a drink
But that's when it went downhill again because we
had that shitty beer.
Well, no, there was a couple places. We went somewhere and I got my first drink, and then we went to this brewery and I got a sour.
It was awful.
That was the first time I had a sour.
But it was a bad sour.
It was bad.
It was skanky.
And then I drank it because it was money.
Yeah.
So then I had the sour, and then we went back to the outdoor bar, the wooden outdoor bar where Paul was there.
Rolled a beer?
I don't know. That's where I drank the blue liquid off the table.
Oh,
it was at the fish house.
We
and
went back. We went back to the fat.
How did you forget that part?
That
Because
one.
that's like
That's right.
not my proudest
I
moment,
do
but
remember
also
that.
my proudest
She's
moment.
drinking random bantam milk off a table.
Listen, okay, there's no one there. Yes, there's no one there. It's just us. Like
You know
they're,
how
they're
people
dying
leave
down.
their half drinking drinks?
No,
and
but it was
she's
full.
going
It was
around
a full
or
drink.
whatever. It
And I
was
was
not
like,
your
somebody
drink.
left their drink. It's a full drink. They're like, no. I was like, it's a full drink, and I drank it.
And we're like,
and then I went walking again. Oh, and I lost you guys because I had to go find my phone, and some kid had it, and then I went to go find him, and then you guys had to keep up with me. I kept crossing the street. I remember all that too.
so you guys ready for the libation after all that?
All I'm saying is drinking Jestina. I haven't done that in quite a while. Not to that level.
Was mead also involved that night?
Yeah.
Yes, we did get a whole entire bottle of mead.
I
That
thought
was the
mead-
next day.
That was the next day.
I thought there was mead involved.
That was the next
So
day.
the next day,
'cause she was
we woke
hungover.
up and I had a full Pedialyte, and I walked into the con with
Because
a
I
full
brought
Pedialyte.
the Pedialyte.
Because
And they're like, "You had a good night," and I was like, "I'm fine. Glasses on, I'm fine, it's fine." And then we went to we had a couple panels we had to do.
Yeah.
We went to a couple panels and then left that, and we had a beer at the panel. I remember having beer and popcorn.
Yeah.
Left
Because I was
that.
trying to, hair the dog at this point.
Right.
So trying to make her feel better.
Went to a fancier bar where I had a French 75. That was the first time I had one of
Right.
those.
And then they had mead.
And that was
At
delightful.
the fancy bar.
No, we went to the fancier bar with mead. This one was like,
Oh,
over
we're
here.
going. We're leveling up.
Oh,
Yes, because this is all around where the panels were in the fancier part of Pensacola.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know that area.
I know. Yeah.
Downtown.
So, and then we I think we may have tried it because you were like, mead is so good. There's a mead bar. And
There
so
was.
then
There's a
we
bar.
went to the bar where we found out they had bottles of mead. You knew this.
Yeah.
But they had bottles of mead. So we got a bottle of mead and then we shared it in the back of a Lyft or an Uber on the way to our next panel.
The whole bottle.
We were like, "Are you okay if we?"
Oh yeah, a little bit when you came back to the hotel.
Yeah, we weren't
Did
quite
we?
done.
No, I had bought a second bottle.
Oh, maybe okay. 'Cause
We
you had some
drank
when
an
you were there.
entire bottle, but anyway.
Anyway, so yeah, that was a life.
So yeah, just,
That won't happen. We're on a job trip coming up, so you don't get. You missed the part where I drank the
I guess
blue
That was
liquid.
all just one story.
we're getting close to the end of this.
Oh, I work in an office with her. I'm used to it.
So you have a libation.
The part
I do
where
have a
drank
libation.
random drink off a table.
I don't know if this whole group has this group ever actually seen her super high on caffeine.
Yes.
That's the same thing.
'Cause it's
the same
bananas.
thing.
Yeah.
It's literally the same thing.
Bananas.
It's the same thing.
You got it?
Just
We're celebrating.
Woo!
Champagne.
Champagne.
Can I throw one little pro to Scotty just as a friend to friend? One of the things I love about Scotty more than anything is the fact that he's as friends go. I have very few that are this way. I have a lot of friends. I'm very lucky, but Scotty's one of the only people that actually takes the time to listen. We don't always agree. Scotty genuinely listens. He hears the words. Now, he may have already plotted how to destroy you back.
Oh, he definitely did.
And you can hear him sometimes thinking.
Right.
But I will say, in all honesty, he is the absolute, of my friend group, he is probably of maybe two that I have that actually is genuinely listening to me. And so that could either be about movie stuff, personal stuff. It could be about me hating Star Wars and giving up on it, whatever it is. He genuinely does that. So I'm from the 70s now.
That's right.
He genuinely does. That's
My
JD's joke.
That was good.
You know,
It's a good
Scotty's
thing.
listening and is about to disagree with you when you hear the words, and it's okay you feel that way.
It's true. Because
My favorite is,
it is.
that's your baggage.
That's your
baggage. I got that a lot, but that's your baggage.
That's your baggage. You got to deal with that. That's you. You have to deal with that baggage.
A couple times I've gotten the hold on.
somebody with
There's a
strong
lot to
hands.
unpack with that. I'm like, oh boy.
I need a towel or somebody's strong hands.
My hands are torn up. I can't do it.
Oh my God.
My hands are torn up.
Please insert the Michael Scott, that's what she said clip where he can't hold it anymore. He's just like, that's what she said.
JD, come open this for me, please.
I don't think he has the muscle right now.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
Oh,
I'm coming.
It's really tight.
While they do that, I'm going to pass on to I had some friends of the Mopcast Network over the years send me some videos, so we're going to watch a little montage of that.
Hey, Scotty White, Mopcast Network. Congratulations on uploading 500 podcasts. Who is listening to that stuff? That's the main question. Who would listen to it? Obviously someone is. I guess it would be Scotty's mama. But anyway, congratulations to Scotty White and the Mopcast Network on all of the downloads. Congratulations from me and from, well, no one else here, but from me, Uncle Henry. Congrats!
Hey Scotty, this is Elaine, and I just want to congratulate you and all of Mopcast Network on making it to 500 episodes. That is crazy to me. I remember back in 2015 when we were all just doing random things, not even really knowing what we were doing, just hoping for the best. I was Mopcast's first intern, making content, editing audio and video stuff, managing social media, and now you've made 500 episodes. What is going on? That is so crazy. And I just want to congratulate you again and again on making it this far. And I hope you make it 500 more episodes, 1,000 more episodes, however many you can do. Just keep rocking it and keep doing it. And I wish you all the best. Thank you for celebrating fandom.
Hey, what's up, Scotty? What's up, Mopcast Network? It's your boy, Stinky Kelly. Throwback to episode 1. Haven't been sacrificed to the podcast gods, or maybe I have. I don't know. Working on Office now, so maybe that's my my purgatory. But congratulations again on the milestone that is 500 episodes. Just really, looking back and listening back to a couple episodes. Just really enjoyed being on the show with you, Scotty, and just everybody else who was on the network in the early days. We really had a great time. Group of students at West Virginia State University, and just blown away by the success that you've had with the network, and just looking forward to many more years of great quality podcasts. And I'm feeling the itch for maybe getting back on behind the mic. Obviously, I've got a face for radio and not for video.
Hello, this is Danny Boyd, former professor, filmmaker, author, playwright, graphic novelist, and former professor of Scotty White. Big congratulations to Scotty White for his 500th podcast of Mopcast. What a delight he was as a student and as a person and as a creator, and great success. Thank you so much. All the best.
Scotty White, Mopcast Network, 500 shows? That's a landmark. Not as much of a landmark as this, but it's a landmark. Hit me up when you get one of these. Congratulations.
Hey, this is Kevin Laporte from Flatline Comics. I'm the writer of Vicious Circus, the horror comic. And I've known Scotty White from the Mopcast Network for about 25 years or so. It's hard to believe. And I want to congratulate the Mopcast Network and Scotty on 500 podcasts. It's hard to conceive of making that many podcasts. I know Scotty and I probably played 500 games of the Star Wars customizable card game back in the day. We probably spent 500 hours playing the Star Wars role-playing game over the decades. But 500 podcasts. I think we've made maybe 40 podcasts in about 3 years. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of great content. I've been a part of some of it. I've come on to talk about movies. I sat in on a panel to talk about the movie They Live at a recent convention that we did with the Mopcast folks and Scotty. And I even sat in one time to defend the Star Wars sequel, Rise of Skywalker, on one of the Star Wars podcast episodes. And that might be regrettable, but I think we had a good time, made some good points. And to be in just a handful of those 500 episodes of podcast history is an honor, and I consider it a favor from Scotty to allow me to come in and be a part of it. And I'm proud to call him a friend, and I'm proud to be a friend of the Mopcast Network. So get started at the beginning. You've got 500 episodes. If you haven't started yet, start back at the beginning, episode 1, and go through 500. You have content for every road trip, every study session, every run, every walk. There's a lot there for everybody to enjoy, and it's all fun and funny and just something to add to the enjoyment of life in general. So again, congratulations to Scotty and the Mopcast Network on 500 podcast episodes, and I look forward to being part of more in the future. Thanks.
All right.
But you gotta
to celebrate 500 episodes, let's do 500 more, and then we'll see how we feel after that one.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Make sure you get a shot of us cheersing. We're looking into it. Thank you.
No, it wasn't.
Now we are.
I actually got a shot of everybody holding it. You just weren't paying attention.
No, because I was looking into the camera,
and I've been trained to not.
No, but this is
Your
one of the times
fault.
I just directed you.
And for
I directed
those of us in the group who like to drink, I have another whole bottle of this in my bag.
Oh boy!
So
Well,
I'm just saying.
well, the next episode, the season finale of Cult Movie Cantina is going to be real fun today.
Yeah.
You're just lucky I didn't bring absinthe.
Word.
Hey, Britt just said that we don't have to wear masks anymore on campus.
Britt, shout out to you in the podcast.
Britt.
She also said I have
Cheers
to
to Britt.
I'm going to send her this whole clip.
There is not a lot of you out there who listen. I've had
Except for Britt.
I've had ups and downs on listenership, but we're building a new audience. I'm so thankful for that. Those who are listening to us, sticking with us. Tell your friends about us. We're great people. We love to share this fun stuff with you, and so we're going to do it regardless if there's nobody listening. So this is for us, but please, thank you. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you so much. This is Scotty saying this is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out and make yours, and I love each and every one of you in this room.